This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked ones obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up? I'm your man Frank Castle. I'm your host of this journey into the metaphysical realms and the unknown that is now becoming known. And I'm here with my co-host and ethereal translator, Paula Milo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm a little thrown off by an experience from early today. So if I have marbles in my mouth a little bit, don't blame me. I'm still a little woo from the experience. But first, I'd like to thank Chris and Cherie, just like I do each and every week, because without them, we would not be here. And don't forget to sign up. TFR?
TruthFrequencyRadio.com. Sign up. Oh, and we want to thank, and we want to give a shout out to Willie, to your friend Willie, because it was his birthday this week, and he's been very supportive of you and the show and everything.
That's awesome.
So shout outs. We just want to shout that out.
And shout outs to everybody in the chat room and all my friends and everybody that signed up, the people that have the app that are listening and tuning in. We love you, and we're sending you love and light.
And all of our Facebook friends, we love you too.
And we've been having some interesting conversations, a lot of different people coming forth to experience what's been happening.
Share information.
Share information, share the experience. So it's been quite the experience this last week. So I won't take up too much more of your time with any of the nonsense. Just remember to check out HeistClick. That's the music. I'm the group. And if you like it, please show your support. And one more, if you guys like to make your own cannabis butter, magicalbutter.com. Special offer, you get 25% off with the link that I put into FearLess TFR. So if you want to make butter, oils, tincture, and you want to infuse your favorite seasonings and spices, your oils or butters, you can make soaps, lotions, scented oils, and you can even make infused e-juice for your e-cig mixtures. I think the product's like the machine maybe $140, so you get $25 off, and you can do all this yourself. It will cut the prices in half and make you your own personal canna chef. I love that idea, man. I absolutely love it. Okay, here's my disclaimer. This is the story of my journey and my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you're ready. Then by all means, proceed. But first we suggest you find a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing, and then travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. So welcome to the now, everyone. This is going to be a good one. Good show tonight. I want to go back last week. I actually skipped a part where I was discussing my actual experience under Aya.
Right.
It was your first experience, but I had some interesting experience as well. The week that it was the week that Ant-Man came out in the movies last year. And I remember watching the movie. I watched a copy of it, right? So it wasn't the greatest copy, but during the movie, no spoilers, that there's a train in the movie where he fights on the little kid's train set, and the face on the train, I forgot what the name of the train is called.
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas the Tank Engine. Well, he blows it up and makes it big, and it kind of gets thrown out the window. Something happened to me when I saw the face of the train. Like, it was like turned on its side in the movie, and it's smiling. Well, it flashed to me while we were having our experience. I seen the train, it kind of like pulled up. And then I seen a whole bunch of objects through my life that I had that were part of things in my life.
Right.
I saw a G.I. Joe that was on the train. I saw like a toy block that the train was pulling behind it that I had when I was very little. These were my favorite blocks. And random characters, random trinkets that were all kind of hanging off the train. But when the train pulled up, it was like the whole thing unlocked. It was like a room behind the train, like in the darkness of the room, and it just opened into a door, and everything beyond the door was made of gold. It was like a tunnel, and it was just golden. Part of that unlocking of that tunnel was the remembering, because remember, we spoke about who we were to each other last week.
Yes, in prior lives.
Yes, in Egypt. So when this unlocked, I believe that's what led to the end of our experience, which was us finding out who we were to each other. So when I was traveling within this golden tunnel, it was like a portal. Everything is made of gold in it. The designs, the shape, it spins, and they looked like hieroglyphics made of gold on the walls. And as they were spinning, they were like locking into place. Like, you've done I felt like I won on Price is Right. I know that sounds so weird, but it was like going down, like running from the back of the room. Hey, come on down. You're the next contestant, right? And when I got to the entrance, like, I came out and everything was made of gold. It was like a city of gold. When I asked what that was, they said, you left yourself clues, visual clues throughout your life. And if you were to remember what these clues were, if you saw them, you would unlock something special within your memory, you, which will then lead you into, whenever I see gold path, the blue path, the green path, those are all good paths. I'm not saying that the red, the orange, the yellow aren't, but I've only taken so many. The dark ones, the brown tunnels, I was warned to always stay out of brown, black. The dark blues, like almost like that, it almost looks like a crappy blue mixed in. It doesn't look shiny and bright and protective. So when you travel, remember to travel in those tunnels if you're using that, because that's what seems to open from your mind, like some kind of tunnel that you cross through. And it's funny that a movie like Ant-Man, you know me, I like superheroes, but Ant-Man's kind of like, who's that guy, right? Like,
no, but it would make sense that you would leave yourself a clue in that movie.
There was something about it.
Something to help you unlock your memory. Yeah, that would make sense. Something
about a small guy, like a regular guy, shrinking down and having his whatever power is, right? He talks to the insects and everything, but I always found that to be more of an adventure than Indiana Jones, like the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know, what the atomic world looks like. Well, in the movie, if you haven't seen it, there's a point where he shrinks to the micro universe, which is a universe within the universe, and it becomes like a straight DMT trip. And also, which was really weird, when he's having the fight on the helicopter, the villain says to him, this was all about a heist. And then he says, it was never just a heist. It's always been more than that.
Right.
And that kind of clicked the memory in me, being that the group is the heist. And, I instantly
that's your
thought,
brand, yeah.
Yeah, I thought of, the whole brand and everything. Now, you had said we leave ourselves breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I think we leave ourselves clues. Because being part of the human race, when we decide to incarnate back here on Earth, I think it's a trade-off. I think you get the free will, but you don't get the memory of your prior life. So it's like you have to do it all over again. But I think that if you've incarnated enough, I think you leave yourself clues.
Well, the ascension process isn't
Oh.
actually lifting into the sky. It's a physical ascension within yourself.
Yeah.
You don't float up to the sky in a blue orb, and they don't take everyone off the planet. It's you ascending into the master of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Soul and body become one. Mastery of it all. That's true ascension. I mean, then you can make the light body and fly off the planet. I mean, there's a million different ways we can go about this. Remember, there is no wrong way because everything is real.
Yeah, it's all real.
So you when you think about that and you see little things and you feel like it's leading you down the yellow brick road, so to speak, consciously pick up on these things, these little clues, the breadcrumbs that you leave, because it does lead to something more. Don't make a joke about it and feel like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, well, it just leads. It just helps you bring you back to the path of finding your consciousness, your stream of consciousness.
Right.
You know, your higher self. Which
is the most important thing.
Yeah. Because there are so many distractions along the way.
There's tons of distractions. See, from up there, it looks down, and you say to yourself, wow, I can handle this, no problem. Look at me. You know, I'm infinite. And then you get down here.
Yeah,
It's
and you
a
get
complete
caught in the
different
minutia
story.
and you forget.
I mean, it doesn't help that they beat it into you as soon as you come out, right? It's one of my funny things that I say. As soon as you get shot out the vagina, you're getting stabbed with needles, you're getting smacked, you're getting told what to do, you're getting put in schools, and they're telling you what to do and who you are and what you're supposed to be, what your choices are. But in reality, they're just shoving nonsense in your face. Yeah, don't get me started. When you corrupt a kid...
That sounded so angry.
No, it is angry because when you corrupt a child like that and remove his fantasy and imagination, or his or hers, you stifle that child. You create an older version of me when I was pissed off. You're creating people that don't know what to do. They go to college and they take classes that'll never get them anything. They take all nonsense stuff. Let me take all psychology classes, Yeah, I'll be a sociologist or something. There's no jobs in that anymore. When I was younger, everybody was going into the psychological field, right? And by the time I was in my second year of school, they said to me, there are no more jobs in that field. And I was getting my associates in that, so I had to change up. I wound up just taking all the classes I could anyway for psychology, every version, every different kind I could. And then English classes, which none of it helped me. It really never helped me. None of it helped me with the music. None of it helped me with the writing. It helped me with it did help me a little bit with writing, not my music though. They never found, or I never found, anything that I liked or was good at going through the schools. Never. I was good at football. What are we going to do with football? You're 5'8". Everything on you is broke. Yeah, you played. But now look at you later in life. You can just laugh if you have to.
I'm not laughing.
Because it's important to see these things. Because you're going to round robin this into your own life. It's going to reflect on your kids now. You just came out. Maybe you just came out of that. Look, I'm 40. I deal with my mother all the time. You make fun of me constantly. No, not my baby, right? And it's funny.
You're not supposed to say that on here.
No, well, look. You got to have fun with it.
Only kid and diet.
But it always comes back to what you just went through. Are you putting them back through? Or are you helping them now that you're getting the information?
Yeah, now that you're remembering.
So that unlocking led to you and I finding out that we were married in ancient Egypt. And that was most powerful. That was last week's show. So now that we finished...
Yeah, so now we're caught up.
Because that week
I can't believe you said that.
I have no shame. Oh, so it wasn't the entities from another dimension that did it. It was, Diane, your son is not my boy. Right? Well, we're Italian. We're in the Bronx, so you can imagine what that's like. And I love you, Ma. Okay, so during that week, I came back to my house. It was time to open the pool and everything. And every time you have one of these experiences, it kind of helps release some stress.
Oh, absolutely.
But you guys know I'm injured, fighting workman's comp. I mean, it's just a constant battle. It never ends with the pain. I don't remember what I was fed up about, but I kind of had it. I remember going outside in the backyard, and I was just sitting there taking the sun. And I still wasn't a heavy meditator or That sounded funny. A meditator. I wanted to try. I wanted to put in. But you know what? No matter how long I sit there, I still feel like I got to get up and move and do something, smoke a cigarette. They were like, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, calm down. All right. Let me just sit in the chair. I sit in the chair, sit back. Naturally, Frank starts smoking a joint. I'm pissed off at something. So when I'm pissed, I seem to get focused on the anger.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I look up, the sun is right over me. This is when it gets ultra weird. I've never witnessed this until that moment. A portal made of fire right from my forehead. And it was once I calmed down, like I was angry and I was like, argh, and then I was like, I can't do anything. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sitting on the...
Yeah, hands are tied. Yeah.
There's nothing I can do, but I can take the sun and I can go in the pool. So I sit back with that thought. The portal opens up and you can see the tunnel hooking on the angle up towards the sun. And that's when I started saying to myself, oh, great, portal, daydreaming time, Frank Stone. I went through all these categories. No matter what I see, each time I check myself so I don't wreck myself, so to speak, right? Because you don't want to be that guy that just starts babbling nonsense now. Like, oh, I was stoned and then it happened.
Right.
Or I got high and did this. It's not really like that. But this time it was. I was angry, sat back, portal opened, giant bird-headed man steps out right to my face because the portal was connected like to my head.
Yeah.
And he stepped out. He wasn't standing on the cement. He was floating.
In the air,
Yeah, he was floating in the air. It was very biblical in nature in terms of, wow, is that you, God? But now we already know there's no God. It doesn't work like that. It's source. I didn't know that these things could just appear like that. I understand maybe ghosts could or something.
Right, well,
you don't know
who
these
knows,
things are running around. Like you think you have to smoke the DMT or take the ayahuasca for this to happen. This is nothing. I just took a couple of hits off a joint and sitting in my backyard. Well, he comes out and he says to me, you're very, very angry. Now, this is the second time I've been called on my anger, once by a dead relative. And that actually was a jump ahead of this story.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there and I says, I don't know who you are, bird-headed man. To me, it looked like an eagle. Apparently, it's a falcon, but I still say it's an eagle. It looked like an eagle. I'm going to stick by eagle, although they draw Ra as the falcon. Because the next thing he says to me is, I am Ra. And I said, oh, it's the Egyptian god, sun god Ra. That I knew, right? Sun god Ra. Like there's video games and all kinds of stuff with him. And he had, it's like all these deities have a spear.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like golden armor that he had around him. Like
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was really different. Like he had golden wing armor, but he didn't have wings. It was like it was strapped on him almost. And I said to him, hey, like you have a bird head. Could you please explain? And he said to me, I am Ra. He said, you have a father.
Oh, my hands is up on
right? Yeah. It's very direct when he speaks. He goes, I'm Ra. Your father has consistently in over and over has proven his no worth to you in any way, shape, or form. And we here are sick of that. And I am here now to deliver this message to you. You have a father. His name is Frank, which is my grandfather. He was sitting in the kitchen at the time. The window was right by where I was sitting. And he says, Frank's old. He's in another age bracket. It's hard to connect, especially with what I do. Right. Like, it's hard to connect with the stories. And, like, he's a guy, he's like, it's all bullshit, right, son? And I go, you're right, grandpa, and then he gets mad when I call him grandpa. He wants me to call him dad. Right. So Ross says to me, I would ask you, he didn't demand anything because this is all part of my explanation on something tonight. He said, if you honor Frank as your father, I will then take the place of your father. Mm-hmm. And I had to think about this for a second because I said, so what does who get out of this? That was my first thought.
Yeah, who gets what?
Who gets what? What's going on here? And I looked at him and he looked at me And I said, yes, deal. And I couldn't find anything wrong with the deal. I have no father. I have a man who is a sperm donor to my existence and completely disowned me, my brother, this, that. Okay. I hang with Grandpa all the time. He always wished he had the son. I mean, this is obvious stuff. Mm-hmm. Frank, honor him, and now I will be your father. Right. And I said to him, this is kind of amazing. How do you, just like you just come down and this is what you do? You make offers to people? Like, 'cause I had heard things that Ra was evil. Somehow he was connected to the snakes or the lizards. I'm like, he's a bird. How does a snake, lizard, and bird, they're all complete different things.
So now you realized he was one of the good ones, and you felt comfortable having this exchange with this deity, basically.
Yes, and it seemed to just roll naturally. Although I was in awe, I wasn't in awe. It became fatherly, I think. Right. Like it felt, hey man, I got you on this, but he acts very stoic. I am Ra. Right. I will be
regal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Regal. So I don't want to say, you always get confused when you're around these things. It almost like the stupidest thing you could think of seems to just pop out at any time.
Yeah.
It's hard to control. So he was saying something about backing off of the visual that I was seeing. Because it was a lot to take in.
Well, he was probably worried about your physical heart, worried about you being able to handle seeing him.
Well, it was a project. I thought to myself, this is my third eye, dead up seeing him. But I was seeing him. Like I felt his presence. I can smell the fire on. Like he had this heat, but it was a loving heat. Mm-hmm. But you can feel it. Oh, here was what I did. I reached out and touched him for the hug. And he backed me off and said, like, you going to ask permission before you do that? And I was like, wow.
Okay, you're learning the rules. Okay.
But I said something like, I can't even get an effing hug, right? Mm-hmm. And we just went through this, and he was just like, why don't you just ask some effing permission?
Respect and adoration. You have to go
in. Yes. And that taught me something cool, something new. It was always like, I always held the doors open for people and said please and thank you. But this is different. You can't be sarcastic.
No, you have to be.
You can't be like, yeah, I got you, Rock.
You have to be vibrating respect and adoration. You have to be, yeah.
All right, I'll tell you guys what I was doing. I was calling him my dog, Ra, right? Ra, my dog. And he used to say to me, I'm not a dog. I'm a bird-headed deity named Ra. I am. And I go, my dog, Ra. And then I'd go, hey, Ra. Ah. And he goes, oh, that's not how you do it, but I'm here.
Right. And so you were learning.
That's how they teach. I have no one to teach me these things.
Of course not. This doesn't happen to many people.
This sounds just ridiculous, but I learn directly from them.
Right.
Your ego gets in the way when you're having a solid conversation. You're acting like an adult. You're being mad cool. You're like, okay, I got this. And then boom, it starts happening. You're like, who's the chick that just showed up next to me? And they go, that's your feminine ego. Feminine ego? What the hell is that? Then the masculine ego, the one that's always talking trash. I could beat this one. I'll punch you right in your face. I could just do that. I could do whatever I want. I used to try to smack him, put him in the box, yell at him, put him on a chair, put him in the corner, take her, tie her down, throw her in the wishing well. It doesn't work. They come to you and they say, what are you doing? And you go, I can't make her shut up and I can't make him stop. And they go, you have no control over your own ego? And I go, what do you mean? They're like, hug them. You don't punch them. You hug them. And they turned into children once I hugged them.
Yeah, stop using anger.
And they just went into me.
Yep.
And we all became one character.
Yep.
And now I can just speak. It was weird because I like to make it funny. Okay. But you have to, there's a reality factor on this that you could catch what you call as the Godsmack.
Yeah.
It's something that you don't want. And it could be very, very crazy. So I find that selfless acts, selfless deals from entities, don't confuse the demon with the deity that's trying to help. Because people have said, you shouldn't be talking to the Ra entity. I'm like, well, people have praised him. If you get on your knees and praise him, he'll go, well, I guess you're going to praise me, so I'll take it. But when he showed up to me and I went, oh, like I didn't even know what to do. Like, do I bow? Do I say, hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
And he said, if you get on your knees and pray to me, you're going to get smacked. Like, you're me. You're with us.
Mutual respect. Yeah.
But knowing you can't say you're the creator and then go over there and not act like the creator.
The creator.
Right. So whenever one of the deals comes up, and the deal is selfless, you get help that you don't have that you need, and you're actually helping someone else.
Oh yeah.
And then you're learning.
Did he give you a gift? He gave you gifts also.
The first gift was it's not a spear. It was like a walking staff, and it had like this oval top to it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it does. I haven't even used it yet, which is funny. He's giving me. There's other ethereal gifts. They give you things when you level up, and they give you armor, and they give you your light swords. They give you just different things.
Yeah.
It's like you unlock. The first thing he gave me was my walking stick. It was like a spear, but without a sharp tip, basically. So I didn't know what to do with it. He said, you'll have it. Don't worry. This is yours. You know, you've earned this. They don't even use the word weapon. You know, you've earned this tool. It's kind of like maybe an ankh. Instead of holding the ankh in your hand, maybe they give you the staff that does the same thing the ankh does. Because they all have them. Mm-hmm. I've never seen them with an ankh, but I've seen them all with staffs. And they all do crazy different things. All right, when we come back from the break, we're going to tell you guys how Paula removed the demon from my face.
Oh my God.
Your protection from deception right here. Frank Castle, this is FearLess.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream. It's a dream. A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world.
What is up, everybody? We are back, and that song is Come Alive by Frank Castle. Check it out. iTunes, Amazon, and everywhere else they sell anything that has to do with music.
You're so cute.
What were you saying? Oh, I got my glasses on.
You just look so cute on. Yeah, you just look so cute.
I never thought I'd have granny glasses.
They're not granny glasses.
Well, they're definitely not Clark Kent glasses, and they feel like they're a children's size.
They're not a children's size. They're not a children's size.
And they're blue, which is weird, but...
You look cute. Just leave it at that.
You know, before I grew my beard out, I looked like Charlie Brown with the one hair. It just goes up, and I had to grow the beard so people would be like, I know he was a bald guy. He had this undefined cheruby face. So I grew this out, and then I got these glasses, and now I look like a grandfather, like a grandfather biker.
No, you don't. You look handsome.
All right, I'm just playing. Check it out. Before we jump ahead to the demon, I promised you guys we'd be going over chakras one at a time until we get them all.
Yeah, and this is actually a good one to start with. Yes,
and once again, it's going to come back around. And I am not... Listen, everybody has this thing, hey, Frank Castle, the Punisher, yeah. Now, I get it, cool. When you start pulling demons off my root chakra and out my ass, I through my face, out my foot, it gets crazy. So we're going to need to teach about some of this stuff before we go any further. The root chakra, or base chakra, the zodiac signs Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. The fourth ray of harmony through conflict governs the base chakra, or root. The chakra symbol represents the most earth-centered chakra. It stands for our inherited beliefs through our formative years, self-preservation, personal survival, and our identification with the physical world centers in this bottommost of the main 7 chakras. A healthy root chakra connects you with vitality, to your family of origin, your immediate society, and to the global community. Let's see. If your 0 to 7 years were challenging and without love, then this damaged root chakra will function much differently. Issues of survival such as emotional dysfunction, stress, anxiousness, and restlessness will plague you. You'll have fears of letting go, scarcity, poor boundaries, and more. It's during the 0 to 7 years that we learn about where we fall in our relationship with siblings, parents, our community, and how we relate to them. Your health issues, joint pain, lower back pain, elimination problems, obesity, constipation, anorexia, and a poor immune system function. A couple questions to ask yourself. What beliefs did you inherit or learn from your family? Is there unfinished business between you and your parents? What is the limiting beliefs did you learn about personal survival and money? Do you have personal boundaries that you maintain? Is it difficult for you to bond with others? Are you sick or suffering from an illness? This is your anchoring chakra. It's what pulls you and to Mother Earth. It binds you to her through you. The sacred feminine is this and has this because that's your lowest point. The children, the baby making area, the whole 9 yards has to do with that. Plus love and your connection to the physical earth itself. Now, is there anything you'd love to add to this before you get into the magical honeypot and say, hey?
I just have to say. And I'm only giggling because I'm really nervous.
Are you nervous because of the story that's about to come out?
No, I'm nervous because it's all true and no one's going to believe it. I just have to say, this story is going to sound, I don't know.
Oh, what we set up to this point isn't...
No, but this involves me directly. People are used to you being weird. So, I just have to say, it's a story. It happened. Take from it what you will. Believe it or don't believe it. But it really happened. And I can't ever forget it.
It's one of those things you can't unsee.
Oh, no. All
right. For image and ego purposes, let's go back to the rapper for a second, right? I'm a little more ego-based.
Yeah.
I got to look fresh and cool.
Yeah, you're the rock
chilling,
star.
Rock star and all that BS, right? Yeah. Now, this is opposite of that. This is going to be catching me off guard, as pretty much as off guard as it gets. So here's the story. God, this is really hard. Okay.
All right, just.
I was in the house.
Yes.
And I went down to the basement. I noticed the cats were having some issues.
Yes.
They were scared and stuff. So I went downstairs. And I think I was unpacking my backpack, and I heard something say to me, "Oh, I got you alone down here now. Mm-hmm. Now it's me and you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? Did something just say that?" Like, it was a nice basement. It's a nice basement.
Open, airy, yeah.
Open, airy, light. But noticed there was something in the house.
Yeah, flying around.
No, it wouldn't leave.
An entity in the house flying around, and the cats noticed it. Which is why I think you went.
It was very aggressive.
Yeah.
Now, this has nothing to do with ayahuasca.
No psychedelic, nothing. This is just hanging out.
This doesn't even have. There's no weed. There's nothing.
No, nothing. This is just
okay. So I go down to the basement, and that's what said to me. I got you alone. It's just me and you now. And I turned around, and I'm like, nah, B. It's me and you. It's you and I. And this is how we're going to do it. And I'm like, well, you think your ego takes off right away. Nah, whoever said that's going to get smacked in the mouth. Okay. That's not really what happens. I started not feeling well.
Yeah.
I came upstairs and I was going, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't feel right. I started getting a little whiny, a little.
Yeah. Nasty, cranky.
Bitchy. And I told you what happened.
Right.
Right? Did I not tell you?
No, you told me.
No, I had to tell you. I tell you everything when it comes to this stuff.
And then we went back down to the basement.
All right.
Show me where you saw it. Go ahead. Show me.
I remember just showing you exactly what happened. and then saying, now I just don't feel right. And you're like, oh, that's okay. I'll just give you clearing.
Yeah, give you a clearing. Yeah. So you lay on your back.
Towel.
Yeah.
No, we put the towel down. This is a little more epic, this one. We've done ones with a little less stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I remember laying down, and I was moaning as you were putting your hands over me.
Yeah, you were hurting. You were hurting.
It hurt.
Yeah.
It actually hurt. And it wanted to speak. This is what started happening. I started hearing it, like loud, like, I got you, you belong to me, all kinds of name calling, everything. And I'm thinking, oh, I can't do anything. Like, I'm on the floor. There's the fish out of water look again. I remember the crying. I remember, wait. I remember being in horrible pain.
Yes.
I remember the cats coming down and surrounding me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm laying down, and I look down towards my feet, and I start to see it. And I start telling you, oh, my.
It's by your foot.
It's standing right there.
Yeah.
And it was a wolf. It was a black wolf with yellow eyes. That's what it was. And the cats, Oscar and Roxy, were doing this thing. They were like on either side making half circles. And then sitting down.
Yeah.
And I was going, like they looked very concerned. But Oscar seemed to know what he was doing. I don't understand this part about the animals just yet. It's like they know
I don't understand either because it happened.
It's like they have to see what's going on because they were looking directly at this thing. But it started growling, and I started thinking to myself, look, we're not in a DMT trip. I'm not on some psychotic rant. No. I'm not on any medication. Check it out. You need to get up and get out of here. And this thing growled at me, and I fell back on the floor like,
Yeah.
It was frightening. I could smell its breath. I could feel its presence and its power. I described this to my brother once, and he said it's the same feeling people get when Darth Vader walks into a room. Even though he's just a big robot, people have fear because it's him. He's 7 feet tall. He's got a lightsaber. He's going to cut you. And you're just like, oh, my God, it's him.
Its presence was enough to...
Yes, his presence has the power of fear attached. I never experienced that in my life.
Well, neither did I.
Well, I've been in some serious street problems, and that went very bad very quickly, and not have gotten this scared.
Yeah, you were scared. You turned white. You turned pale white. You looked
This
gray.
thing started foaming at the mouth, and I'm like, he's going to kill me. I remember saying that to myself, like, I need you to help me now. Mm-hmm. So one thing I've learned is you can't do everything alone. For those things that they can, there'll always be that one day where Superman needs help from Batman. This is just how it works. It's how we're made. We all have the different powers to help us through these situations, which are really very important. So I've been, ever since they taught me that you can scream for help, you could yell for help. You could say, I'm the creator, the man who walks in all world, help me, and they'll come flying in and help you. So you're rubbing your hand over my head, and I look up, and there's a bear standing there.
Yes.
And I knew he wasn't with me. I knew he was yours.
He was with me, yeah.
And I'm like, there's now, I was complaining for months that I never see an animal on the other side except like a bird-headed man. I never see a bird or a, whatever. It's always like humanoid things. But where are these spirit totems that you see? Well, I'll tell you what I did see. A house cat that was the size of a giant dog came and sat on my chest. And I think I described her to you. And you said that was
a cat in a previous life that I had run into from a past life regression.
Because she was acting like she knew you.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and laid on top of my chest.
To protect you.
I was still looking at my feet. The wolf was a little bigger and a little bigger, but now the bear's there.
Yep.
The cat's on my chest.
And Oscar was holding you by the shoulders.
Yes.
With his paws.
Now that was the real cat. Yeah.
And my house cat was holding you by the shoulders.
Yes.
And Roxy was on the other side of you on your other shoulder.
Giving me comfort.
Yeah.
That's how bad this situation's getting.
And it's not like you can train house cats to do that. They just automatically came.
When I was looking at them, and my eyes were rolling in my head at times.
Yeah, it was like a
possession.
It was like it looked like a possession that was taking place. I was really scared.
Guys,
but
I didn't believe in this stuff like straight possession. I've seen demons and stuff. I didn't know it worked just that easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know how easy it is
No.
for them to just slip in
But
when you don't
you're
have the
open,
training.
that's what happens. When you're open, and by open I mean you're opening your consciousness, your awareness, these things tend to slip in.
Because you tend to slip in vibration and frequency
Yeah.
from time to time. You know, you've been in the corner, you feel depressed for 2 seconds, you turn around, you're like, my ass hurts, my neck hurts. And then you're like, F this one and excuse me, screw that one. And then the next thing you know, you're in this hole of everyone could go jump off a bridge. And you know what? I hate this one and I dislike that one and this one. It's in you at that point. Once you're down that road, you've brought it in.
Yeah, because
It's almost like they're cheering you on.
You were on the floor. You were going, what can you do? And I said, I don't know. I could try to clear you. And then I started moving my hands up and down.
Whenever your hands get around me, everything changes.
The energy moves.
I
yeah.
actually see energy. I see all that stuff with my third eye, just like as if it was in the room, but not as crystal clear. It's almost like a background thing happening that comes to the forefront of my mind. The split movie screen. It's what you see here and what's happening right there. Okay, so I start kind of screaming
You're
for help.
Screaming. You're crying.
Listen, this thing was trying to get me to speak. You could never let them speak for you.
No.
This is what I've noticed, because this has happened multiple times. I'm going to tell every single one of these stories in the next few weeks, and I don't care anymore. Because
I know you
I
don't
can't
care,
believe
but
what
it sounds so unreal.
No, I know. But it's real.
I know.
Okay? This is so frightening to me. I was crying.
I know.
My eyes were like
I know your eyes
giant.
were tearing and swollen. You had pains in your stomach. You
It
had
was
pains
going.
in your chest.
It was telling me to hate her.
Yeah.
That's what it told me.
Yep.
Like get this. Everything that you could possibly say, and he said, he could have been whatever, but everything that would piss you off.
It was trying its hardest to stay.
But still be on my side almost.
Yeah.
It was trying to push.
It was trying its hardest to stay. And I was trying my hardest to push it out of you. And it was doing whatever it had to do to get me distracted so that I couldn't push it out.
Right. So this is what winds up happening, though. That's not the only animal that shows.
I know.
Now it gets weird. I heard like a bird squawk,
Yeah.
right? Like a right? And I look up, and I thought it was an eagle, but it wasn't an eagle. It was a thunderbird. It actually looked like the drawing of a thunderbird from the Indians. And it was like a metal bird that was screeching through the sky. And I was like, yo, that's awesome. And then I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Like, I'm thinking nobody's helping. They're all gathering, but everyone's just looking at me.
But they were all gathering.
Hold on. It gets even better. And you know how crazy this gets.
I know.
It turns into a nightmare scenario where now, how long did this take? This was like 40 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, it was almost an hour.
It was when this happens and you're done, y'all want to just
out, yeah.
hit yourself on the head with a hammer and go to sleep for the next 20 hours.
Well, we didn't know if we should look at each other and talk about it after, or if we should just go to opposite
bed.
corners and cry.
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
know. We didn't know what was going to. But didn't a little frog come too?
There was a lizard. It looked like
salamander,
yes,
little
you have the
salamander.
frog.
Yeah,
the salamander came out.
Yeah.
So
those are mine.
I said to him, "Oh, look, a little cute thing. How did you come in to help? How the hell you didn't do anything?" I said, "Great, they sent me something the size of a snail to fight a monster. This is great." I remember being pissed off and like, what's happening to me? I wrote down a couple of them. There was a little lizard, the house cat, your cat. It wasn't a cheetah. It was actually a jaguar. Starts running in the background.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
And
You
I
said it was
remember-
trying to distract the wolf entity.
Yeah, so what winds up happening is while everyone's standing and gathering, I scream like a girl, like, ah!
I know.
And I look over, and I'm not on the floor
This
in
is
your
really
apartment.
brave of you to be telling this story.
I know it's weird. That's why I sound a little choppy with it, because I'm like, should I say that? Oh,
No,
you know,
you
F
have
it,
to,
just say
though.
it.
This is how you become fearless, I guess.
And this is why I tell Chris about the chessboard all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Your floor turned into the chessboard.
Chessboard, yeah.
And I was laying there.
I even saw that, and I don't see things.
And
Believe me, I don't see things like Frank.
looked
but I
like-
even saw the chessboard.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
There was the wolf.
And again, we just had coffee. Like, it was just like we had coffee that day. It wasn't.
I know.
It
I was
was-
so
yeah.
not expecting that. When
Yeah.
I heard the voice, I was laughing. I'm thinking, like, I'm the creator, the man who walks in all worlds. Nobody's going to whoop, and it's in me.
Yeah.
And that's how fast it happened.
And you really, like, you're almost convulsing on the floor. And
I thought I was going to have
is this
I thought I
really
was going to have a
happening?
seizure
I
because
know.
of the way I was convulsing. Like, my body
I know
was.
that.
I kept going, get out, and it wanted to shout like,
Yep.
no,
Yep.
I'm not going anywhere. And it was like, I'm going to take what it was telling me was I'm going to take you, and you're out of the game permanently because I'll have your soul. And I'm like, oh, you can't take my soul.
No, that's not.
And then
happening.
he's like, oh yeah, and I'm going, this thing is going to eat me, and they're sending little lizards over here. The jaguar wasn't even that big. It was small. It was
No,
only
the
3
bear was
feet.
small too.
The
was a
bear's
small size,
big,
too.
but it's small.
Small compared,
right? But it was
yeah.
and it was a brown bear, mind you. So I scream, and then I hear, "What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" And I go, "What is this?" The artificial intelligence, the eye in the pyramid top, has obelisks about 6 feet tall, because they were in my perception of my height. So about 6 feet tall. They look like the Washington Monument, but 6 feet. And then the eye was at the top of where it became the pyramid top. And it was fat. It was really fat. And it came across the chessboard. It looked like it was like a robot from outer space. It was so weird. And it went, "What is happening? What is wrong?" And I go, "What the is this?"
This is all happening
I
while
go,
Frank is
I couldn't
rolling
get-
on the floor, convulsing.
I can't get one totem animal. I'm an Indian. I'm the creator. I'm the guy that walks in all worlds, but no animal will come and pay me a visit because everything hates me. Look, I was bugging out. I'm
know.
like, now you guys show up. But when I looked at him, he was real, and he was shaking. Whenever he spoke, it didn't come out of a mouth. It comes,
No.
You hear him, but the whole thing shakes. I was like, it almost reminded me of a pinball machine being weird.
Right.
Like ding, 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 and then it would stop, and you would speak back to it, and then ding, 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 ding. So it looks over, it takes its eye, it looks at me, it sees me on the floor, it looks over, and then it looks back at me and understands what's happening, and I go, "Illegal move on the chessboard, illegal move. He's trying to take me," and I'm out of breath because I was out of breath. He's trying to take my life. Don't let him. And she's running her hands over my head. And this thing.
And then I moved down your body. But once I got to your sacral chakra, forget about it.
Oh, God. I felt hooks in.
Yeah, like meat hooks.
Meat hooks that wrapped around my taint area.
Your groin.
My
Just say
groin. All right. Well, it was specifically that
All
because
right.
it wasn't the front or the back. It was like the piece that they could just hook onto.
Well, this is an NBC.
And
so
then
yeah.
up in my chest, it was like locked in.
I know.
And when you would pull the bottom side or push them out, it would squeeze me up top.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, somebody's got to help me. then it goes off. It looked like when the two sides of the teams just run at each other and go. The bear swatted the
The
wolf.
wolf entity. Mm-hmm.
Wait, when you pushed, and I went, ugh, and the wolf growled, the bear got pissed and smacked it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, "Get him!" And I fell, and the jaguar ran,
To distract them.
and the wolf, like, it looked like the wolf was being chased off screen, and then he'd come back on the other side.
Right.
And the jaguar was doing that, so I'm like, oh, good, he's out of here. And then I look, and I see him standing there staring at me again, but now the lizard's on the floor. It looked like a little...
Yeah, little salamander.
And I go, "What are you going to do?" And then I hear a noise, and the little thing's running like around him in a circle, and then there's just a million of these things. And it's freaking the wolf out like, yo, there's like a million of these lizards. I need to get up out of here. Then the Thunderbird dive bombs. The AI did something I've never seen before. It opened it like a thing in its front, and it's like a panel opened, and it created some kind of, it looked like a black hole, and it was sucking in the entity. So the entity says, you said I could stay. And I says, I never said you could do anything. You need to get out. I was screaming, and you pulled it out.
Yes.
But then what happens when it's like, all right, I think it's coming out. I think it's coming out. And then what happens it sounds so weird, guys. It comes up from your stomach. She's just running her hand over me. I could feel the energy going through. And this thing is untwirling from my groin and going up towards my throat. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, get out, get out, get out. And then I purge.
Yeah. Well, no, it took a little bit. We had to go. We had to do the whole in the name of Aya to push it out.
Now
we had to ask for assistance because I couldn't.
From
do it
your
myself.
perspective, because what I watched after that was everything, including you, the cat laying on me. Every single thing was doing one thing.
Yeah, protecting you, helping this entity come out of you. Something came out of your foot too, because your foot is a what do you call that? A portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like an exhaust port for the energy.
Yeah.
My left hand pushes it out. My right hand pulls it in. Right foot pulls it in. Left foot pushes it out. So
yeah, and then everything comes out of your mouth usually. Like that. No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant.
I know. This is very weird to talk about. We laugh and laugh and laugh.
But it's really true. That's the funny, scary. I mean, believe me, this is, like I said, this was just one morning after coffee.
About this actually happening to people.
And I didn't, I mean, I have some ability,
Listen,
but I mean.
I had been doing Aya. I'm not that much of a drama baby anymore.
No, not like before. No.
It changed. Keep making fun of me even more.
I'm not making fun of you, I'm saying.
But what winds up happening is you change completely, and then more things occur.
I know.
And you start to say, why are you sending this to me?
Well, because you were becoming more open. So you were asking for the experiences, and you weren't using your protection and your discernment correctly, which is, I think, is something that you'll speak about later on.
This has been one of the weirdest shows because it's there's no psychedelic involved.
No
we're laughing, we're sounding like total ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was the most realistic experience I've ever went through.
It was a horrifying it was a scary, beautiful learning experience, because once that entity finally did leave you, we cleared the house, we cleared the room, we cleared the house.
The entity never wanted to engage us again after that.
No, never. And you've never seen that type of entity before. But, I mean, honestly, that the house cats got involved. They knew what was going on before we did.
When it was done, I remember Oscar chasing it looked like a centipede.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, man, it's not a giant wolf. It's that little thing.
I think that was just another entity.
They're scary to you, so they appear bigger.
Yeah.
You're not scared, they go back to what they really are. Because you shouldn't really be afraid of these things. You shouldn't be afraid of anything because nothing can really hurt you. And you need your friends to help. This is another thing. A lot of people are like, yo, man, I go through this alone and whatever. I'm a shaman. I go do this alone. You can't do it alone.
Reach out. Send a message on Facebook. Reach out to friends.
If any of this stuff has happened to you or is happening to you, you can talk to me about it at this stage of the game, because that was almost a year ago. We know how to get rid of them now. It doesn't take an hour now. But
now it just takes a few minutes and Fred cries and throws up.
Well, what's funny is I started thinking to myself that I was beginning to have this psychological issue just to go into ayahuasca again, and her saying, no, Frank, it's real. So thank you for listening. We love you. May the source be with you, and stay tuned for Chris and Cherie, and have a great night tonight.
Oh, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Your protection from deception. Happy Father's Day.